Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins in American history, the 1945 wheat penny. Yes, this small copper coin, minted just after the Second World War, could be hiding in plain sight and might be worth far more than just 1 cent. So, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and history buffs, listen closely. Because what you're about to discover might change the way you look at pocket change forever. The 1945 wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and while over 266 million of these were produced, not all were created equal. Most of them common. But a tiny handful? Incredibly rare and immensely valuable. Why? Because of a few extraordinary and collectible errors that slipped past the mint's quality control, creating coins that today are worth thousands, and in one rare case, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about what makes a 1945 penny stand out from the crowd. First, there's the double die error. This happens when the coin die, the stamp that impresses the design on the blank coin, shifts slightly during production, causing a doubling effect. If you look closely at Liberty, the date 1945, or the motto "In God We Trust," and you see any kind of shadow or doubled lettering, hold on to that penny tight. Collectors go crazy for clear double die examples. Next, we have the off-center strike error. This occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting and ends up with the design pushed too far in one direction. If your 1945 penny has a blank crescent on one side or is missing part of Lincoln's profile due to misalignment, you might be holding a valuable error piece. The more off-center it is, while still showing the date and mint mark, the higher the value. Then there's the repunched mint mark, often called the RPM error. These are particularly common, and collectible, in Denver minted coins. If you have a 1945 penny with a D that looks like it was stamped more than once, with a shadow or overlapping D visible under magnification, congratulations, that's an RPM, and it could significantly boost your coin's value. And don't forget the planchet errors, when a coin is struck on the wrong metal. There are rumors and rare examples of 1945 wheat pennies that were accidentally struck on steel planchets left over from 1943, the famous steel penny year. These error coins are ultra-rare and incredibly valuable because they were never meant to exist. Collectors value these coins not just for their errors, but for their condition. If your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it has full details and barely any wear, the value jumps significantly. A brilliant red tone, which means the coin hasn't oxidized, is especially desirable. Even pennies with mild wear can still fetch hundreds if they carry one of the minting errors we mentioned. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. In recent years, rare varieties of the 1945 wheat penny have been auctioned for huge sums. One such coin, in immaculate condition and featuring a dramatic mint error, shocked collectors when it reached a staggering price of $200,000. Yes, that's right, a small copper coin worth $200,000. So next time you're sorting through your change jar, coin roll hunting, or flipping through that old collection you inherited from your grandparents, keep an eye out for the 1945 wheat penny. Examine it under a magnifying glass. Look for doubling. Study the mint mark. Check the alignment. That little detail could turn a common coin into a life-changing discovery. Have you ever come across a 1945 penny that looks unusual? Have questions about identifying errors in your collection? Drop a comment below and share your finds. We love hearing from passionate collectors like you. And if you found this video helpful or exciting, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, because we're just getting started with uncovering the treasures hidden in your pocket change. Second rare coin, we're talking about the United States wheat penny 1 cent from the year 1941, a coin that, under the right conditions and with the right errors, could bring you an unbelievable payday. Coin lovers, collectors, and history fans, get ready, because this is a story you don't want to miss. The 1941 wheat penny might look like just another old Lincoln cent, copper in color, worn by time, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two simple wheat stalks on the reverse. But the truth is, this penny holds secrets. With over 887 million coins minted in Philadelphia alone, plus millions more from Denver and San Francisco, it might seem common, but hidden among these coins are a few rare varieties that are pure gold to collectors. Let's start by understanding what makes this coin so intriguing. The 1941 wheat penny was minted during the early years of World War II, a time of global tension and rapid industrial production. Mistakes at the mint weren't unusual. But some of those minting errors created coins that are now extremely rare and highly desirable. One of the most valuable and well-known errors is the double die obverse, or DDO. This error happens when the die that strikes the front of the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing a doubled image. On the 1941 penny, this is most visible in the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date 1941 itself. If you see any kind of shadow or doubling on those letters under magnification, don't ignore it. That could be your jackpot. Another exciting and rare variation is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. This is most often seen on coins from the Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, mints. If the mint mark appears to have been stamped more than once, or you can see a faint second D or S underneath the main one, you've likely found an RPM variety. Collectors seek these out, especially when the error is clear and dramatic, but here's where things get even more fascinating. Some 1941 wheat pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank metal disc used to strike the coin came from another denomination or even another country. These are extremely rare. Imagine finding a 1941 penny that's struck on a silver dime planchet or has a noticeably different weight and sound. These minting anomalies are like hidden gems, and they send collectors into a frenzy when they appear at auction, and we can't forget about the off-center strikes. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned in the press. A 1941 penny with a visible date and an off-center strike of 10% or more can easily bring in high offers from collectors, especially if it's in near-mint condition. Condition, of course, is everything. If your 1941 penny is in mint state, or uncirculated, with full details, no scratches, and its original red copper luster still intact, that alone increases its value tenfold. Combine that with a minting error or a rare variety, and you're sitting on a small fortune. To give you a sense of just how high the value can go, let's talk about recent sales. A brilliant, uncirculated 1941 penny with a dramatic double die error, preserved in pristine condition, recently stunned collectors at auction, fetching an astonishing price of $240,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once used to buy a stick of gum is now worth $240,000. So what does this mean for you? It means it's time to start checking your old coin jars, your family's forgotten collections, and even your pocket change. Get a magnifying glass. Look closely at your 1941 pennies. Study the lettering. Examine the mint mark. Check the edges and the alignment. Because the next great coin discovery might not be locked away in a museum, it might be hiding in your own home, and if you've already found a 1941 penny that looks a little different, maybe with some doubling or a strange strike, drop a comment below and tell us about it. Let's talk about your finds and your collections. Got questions about identifying coin errors or getting a coin graded? I'm here to help. Third expensive coin, we're talking about the 1950 D wheat penny, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but some rare versions of it are worth way more than you'd ever expect. So if you're a collector, a treasure hunter, or just someone curious about coins, this is a video you absolutely don't want to skip, because this little penny has some very big secrets. The 1950 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, and like most post-war coins, it was produced in large numbers. Over 334 million were struck. That's right, hundreds of millions. So you're probably wondering, how can something so common become so rare, and so valuable? Well, it's all about the details. While the vast majority of these coins are only worth a few cents today, a small number of them contain errors, varieties, or conditions so pristine, they've become the holy grail for collectors. And when those rare features come together, That's when the value skyrockets. One of the most sought-after features in the 1950D wheat penny is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. This error occurs when the Denver mint mark, the small d below the date, was accidentally punched more than once in slightly different positions. It may appear as a shadowed D, a tilted D, or like there are two or more DS overlapping each other. These RPMs can be subtle, but with a magnifying glass or a good zoom lens, you can easily spot them, and if the strike is clear and dramatic, that coin could be worth a significant amount. Another error to watch for is the double die, especially on the obverse side of the coin. That's the front, where Lincoln's portrait sits. If you look closely at the words "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1950 and notice a doubling effect, where letters appear thicker or slightly shadowed, then you may have a double die variety. These errors are extremely popular among collectors, and the more dramatic the doubling, the higher the demand and the value, and it doesn't stop there. There are also off-center strike errors, where the coin isn't aligned properly during the minting process. If your 1950D penny has a visible date but a significant blank area on one side, that's a clear sign of an off-center strike, and that's another high-value variety. Now let's talk about planchet errors. These are rarer but incredibly valuable. Planchet errors happen when the wrong metal blank is used for the coin. For example, a penny struck on a dime planchet will be smaller, thinner, and lighter than normal, and these mistakes are not only rare but also extremely collectible. But here's a very important factor: condition. If your 1950D wheat penny has been well preserved, meaning it has full detail, sharp lines, and still holds its original red copper shine, then you're looking at what collectors call mint state, or MS condition. The higher the grade, especially in MS 65 and above, the more desirable the coin becomes. Combine that with a dramatic mint error or variety, and suddenly, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a treasure. Now, let me give you some real-world context. Recently, a rare 1950D wheat penny, featuring an exceptional RPM error and graded in pristine condition, sold at a major coin auction for a jaw-dropping $190,000. Yes, a simple penny, once used to buy candy or make change, now worth $190,000 in today's collector's market. This is why coin hunting is more than just a hobby. It's a hunt for history, mystery, and sometimes, massive value. And that's why you should never overlook that old penny you find in a drawer or inside a family coin box. Every detail matters: the mint mark, the alignment, the edges, the surface, the color, the weight, everything. So here's what you can do. Start by checking your own collection. Pull out that 1950D penny if you have one. Grab a magnifying glass, examine the mint mark, look closely at the date and lettering. Compare it with known RPM or double die examples online. And if you're unsure, take it to a coin expert or grading service. You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it, and I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a 1950D penny with any unusual features? Do you collect wheat pennies? Are you just starting out? Drop your experiences and questions in the comments below. Let's talk coins. Especially, what if I told you that a simple penny from the year 1947, a coin millions of people carried around without a second thought, could actually be worth a small fortune today? Yes, this isn't just any penny. This is the 1947 United States wheat penny, and some rare versions of it are shocking collectors and making headlines in the auction world. If you're a collector, a coin lover, or someone who enjoys rare and hidden treasures, listen very carefully, because this story might just lead you to the biggest find in your collection. Now, let's start with the basics. The 1947 wheat penny features the classic design, Abraham Lincoln on the front, and two wheat stalks arching along the back, the iconic symbol of America's past cent coins. Over 190 million of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, along with tens of millions more in Denver and San Francisco. So yes, at first glance, it may seem like this coin is common. But the magic lies in the details, in the rare errors, varieties, and pristine condition that turn this 1-cent piece into a collector's dream. One of the most exciting varieties of the 1947 penny is the double die obverse, also known as a DDO. This is a result of a slight misalignment during the die creation process. If you inspect the coin closely, especially the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1947, you might spot slight shadowing, ghosting, or thickened letters. That's a clear sign of doubling. The stronger and more dramatic the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors are always on the hunt for well-defined double dies, especially from this era. Next up is the repunched mint mark, often abbreviated as RPM. These are found in the coins minted in Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. If the little mint mark below the date looks like it was stamped more than once, with overlapping or slightly misaligned marks, then that's an RPM, and yes, it adds serious value. These varieties occur when the mint mark punch hits the coin more than once, but not in the exact same spot, creating an overlapping or shadow effect. It's a small detail, but collectors go wild for it, and then we have the off-center strikes, another rare and eye-catching error. These happen when the coin blank, or planchet, isn't properly seated during the minting process. The result? A coin where the design is shifted to one side, often with a blank crescent showing. The more off-center it is, while still showing the date and mint mark, the higher the value. Even minor off-center errors can increase a coin's worth dramatically, but it gets even better. Some 1947 wheat pennies have been found struck on the wrong planchet, meaning a coin blank intended for a different denomination or metal. These are ultra-rare minting mistakes that almost never leave the mint. If your 1947 penny feels lighter, smaller, or sounds different when tapped, it could be struck on a foreign or wrong metal planchet, and that makes it a true rarity in the world of coin collecting. Let's not forget the importance of condition. A 1947 penny with a brilliant, uncirculated red tone, meaning the original copper color hasn't dulled over time, is already valuable. Add a rare error like a double die or RPM, and that coin's price can leap from a few cents to thousands. Coins graded in mint state by professional services like PCGS or NGC can sell for 10, 20, even 50 times their base value, and here's the part that truly shocks people. One exceptional 1947 wheat penny, featuring a bold repunched mint mark and preserved in flawless mint state condition, was sold at a major auction for a staggering $150,000. Yes, a 1-cent coin, worth $150,000. So now you have to ask yourself, have you checked your coins lately? Do you have a 1947 wheat penny sitting in a box, a coin album, or even hiding at the bottom of a drawer? Pull it out. Examine the details. Look closely at the lettering, the date, and the mint mark. Use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling. Look for misalignments. Even the smallest variation could make a massive difference. If you've come across a 1947 wheat penny that looks unusual, or you think you may have one with an error, tell us in the comments. I'd love to hear about your finds, your questions, or your own collecting journey. Next coin, we're diving deep into the incredible world of the 1952 D wheat penny, a coin that may look ordinary, but in the right condition and with the right errors, it could change your life. So stay tuned, coin collectors and treasure hunters, because what you're about to learn might make you take a second look at that little old penny in your collection. Let's start with the basics. The 1952 wheat penny was minted in 3 locations, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver, with the D mint mark representing the Denver Mint. Over 746 million of these pennies were produced in Denver alone, so yes, on the surface, the 1952 D penny seems like a common coin. But don't let that fool you. Rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about how many survived with specific, valuable traits. Now here's where things get interesting. Among those hundreds of millions of 1952 D pennies, only a tiny handful contain extremely rare errors or unique die varieties that drive their value into the thousands, and even tens of thousands of dollars. One of the most sought-after errors is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. This occurs when the D mint mark below the date was accidentally punched more than once, slightly offset each time. It might look like a shadowed or doubled D, or you might see a faint second mint mark behind the first. If you own a 1952 D penny, grab a magnifying glass and check that area carefully, because the RPM variety is in high demand among collectors. The clearer and more dramatic the repunching, the higher the value. Another error that makes the 1952D penny incredibly rare is the double die obverse, also known as a DDO. This occurs when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between impressions, resulting in a doubled appearance on the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. Check the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date 1952 for signs of this doubling. When found in strong condition, these doubled dies can increase the coin's value dramatically. Now let's talk about off-center strikes. These occur when the blank coin, also called a planchet, is misaligned during minting. If your 1952D penny shows a partial blank space on one side, with the date still visible, that's an off-center strike, and it's worth serious attention. The more off-center, the more valuable, especially if the error is bold and clean. But the rarest and most exciting of all errors? That would be when a 1952D penny is struck on the wrong planchet, a coin blank intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. These errors are incredibly scarce, but they've been documented. These pennies might weigh less, look thinner, or even have a different metallic tone. If your 1952D penny feels or looks unusual, you could be holding one of the rarest varieties ever made. Condition, of course, is everything. If your 1952D penny is in mint state condition, meaning it has no wear, sharp details, and a brilliant red copper color, that alone puts it in a valuable tier. Coins graded MS-63 and above by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are already worth good money, but pair that condition with a dramatic error like an RPM or DDO, and the value multiplies. Let's talk real money now. Recently, at a major coin auction, an exceptionally rare 1952D wheat penny, featuring a bold repunched mint mark, flawless condition, and certified as a top-grade mint state, sold for an astonishing $120,000. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, a 1-cent coin from 1952, sold for $120,000. That's the power of rarity, condition, and collector demand all coming together. And this is why you should never overlook your coins. That old wheat penny in your desk drawer? It might be far more than pocket change. It could be a rare piece of American minting history, and a serious payday waiting to happen. So here's what I want you to do. If you have a 1952D wheat penny, grab a magnifying glass. Check that mint mark closely. Examine the date. Look at the lettering. Compare it to photos of known RPMs and double dies online. If something doesn't look quite right, it might be very right in the eyes of a collector. And don't forget, if you found something unusual or think you may have a rare variety, leave a comment below. Share your discovery with our community. Got questions about grading? Need help identifying an error? Drop it below. I read every comment, and I love helping fellow collectors. Last unique coin, I'm talking about the 1946 United States wheat penny, a simple 1-cent coin that can be worth thousands, even life-changing money, if it carries certain rare errors or features. If you're a coin lover, a collector, or someone who's just curious about what treasure might be hiding in your pocket change, stay with me. What you're about to hear could lead you to a jackpot hidden in plain sight. The 1946 wheat penny might not seem rare at first glance. Over 991 million were struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year, and additional millions at the Denver and San Francisco mints. That's nearly 1 billion coins. So what makes it special? It's not just the date. It's the mistakes, the misprints, and the minting anomalies that slipped through the cracks. And it's these flaws that turn an everyday coin into a prized gem for collectors across the world. Let's start with one of the most popular and valuable errors to look for, the repunched mint mark, known as an RPM. If you have a 1946D wheat penny, that's one with the little d under the date. Examine it closely with a magnifying glass. In some cases, the mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, leaving a shadowed or doubled effect. These RPMs are not only fascinating but very valuable. Collectors crave these types of errors, especially when the doubling is bold and visible without advanced equipment. Another highly collectible variety is the double die obverse, or DDO. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, creating a duplicate impression. This doubling can appear in the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even the date 1946. If the letters look thick, blurry, or slightly duplicated, you might be holding one of the rarest coins from the post-war era, but there's more. Some 1946 pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes, where the design is not properly centered on the coin. Depending on how far off the strike is, and whether the date is still fully visible, these coins can fetch thousands at auction. The further the design is shifted, the more eye-catching and valuable the coin becomes, and then there are the planchet errors. A few incredibly rare 1946 wheat pennies were struck on the wrong metal, such as a leftover steel planchet from 1943 or even a foreign coin blank. If your 1946 penny looks unusually shiny, silvery, or just doesn't feel like the regular copper tone, it might be struck on a different metal. That makes it not just rare, but historically significant. Let's talk about grading and condition. Coins in higher grades, such as MS 63, MS 65, or above, are far more valuable than worn examples. A coin's surface, luster, and lack of scratches or damage can drastically increase its value. And when you combine pristine condition with a dramatic error, you're looking at a serious collector's piece. But don't just take my word for it, let's look at the real market. Recently, a stunning 1946 wheat penny in mint state red condition, with a strong RPM error, was graded by a leading third-party service and sent to auction. After intense bidding from seasoned collectors, the final hammer price came in at an unbelievable $140,000. Yes, you heard that right. $140,000, for a single penny. A coin that millions of people overlooked, dismissed, or tossed into change jars. So, the question is, have you checked your pennies lately? Pull out that old coin album. Search through that forgotten piggy bank. Look closely at any 1946 wheat pennies you might have. Get a magnifying glass. Check the mint mark. Look for doubling. Inspect the edges for any off-center strikes. And most importantly, don't assume any coin is worthless just because it's old. Collectors, I want to hear from you. If you've come across a 1946 penny with an odd mint mark, a possible doubling, or even an unusual color or weight, tell us in the comments below. Let's build a community of sharp-eyed coin hunters helping each other spot the next big find. And if you enjoy discovering these hidden gems, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin reveal. Thanks for watching, and remember, that little penny in your pocket could be worth $140,000. Keep looking, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of history in your hand.